Hey there, Aubrey. What have you got going on today?
Ooh, I am taking my daughter to a job fair. It's her first in-person interview. She's only 16. I hope it goes well. She's very nervous. What about
Oh my
you?
gosh, good luck. We're all pulling for her. I love that. Well, yeah, tonight I'm going over to the botanical gardens for I don't know, an evening walk event or something across the
Ooh,
park from my house. Yes,
that's
very
fun.
culture-y.
Nice. I love that. Well, you noticed I asked Lindsay, "What about you?"
Yeah.
which is an interesting follow-up, right? If they've asked you an interesting question and you want to know their answer as well, you can say, "What
Mhm.
about you?" We got a great question from a listener about what about you versus how about you that I'm
Yes.
excited to answer today.
And I think this possibly could be one of our top 20 most important episodes for connection, Aubrey,
Yeah.
because you want to make sure you're flipping things back to other people and asking them kind of that maybe not always the same question, but a similar question. You're not being what do we call in the business English course? What's our
A
favorite
me
phrase?
monster. Yes, so don't be a me monster. You don't
Don't
wanna
be.
just talk about yourself, answer questions over and
Yeah.
over. You want to, yes, make it a conversation, make it a back and forth.
Yeah, it's true. And now our listeners who come to Open Conversation Club or Fluency Party also know the term me monster because we
Nice.
talk about in our small groups and our breakout rooms how important it is to bring the conversation back to someone else. And this would be a great tool for our students, right? Who come to Open
Absolutely.
Conversation. Hmm.
Yes, we wanna make sure that you guys get the app. Go to allearsenglish.com/app.
Hmm.
It is the best way to listen to the podcast. It's also the best way to find episodes in our archive. It might take you
Yes.
forever to scroll back wherever, in
Hmm.
your podcast player, but if you're looking for idioms, specific vocabulary, slang, you can search it on the app to find older
Yeah.
episodes.
100%. Any keyword, any particular word, it should come up
Yes.
for the words that are in the title of the episode. And it's mobile. It's a mobile app, so you don't have to go and sit down at a laptop and comb through our website. You can just go to the
Yes.
mobile app, and the mobile app is free to download. Right? If you want to become a premium member, you get other cool benefits, but you can also just download it for free and listen there. Okay.
Yes, and if you wanna check out those other benefits, we have a 7-day free trial. You can listen to the app or the episodes with the transcripts. You can
Yes.
follow along and then save keywords, and we also have these awesome role plays, which use important keywords from all of the episodes throughout the week. Those are
Yes.
amazing.
Only available on the app for premium users. So guys, go over to allearsenglish.com/app. Okay. So we've got a question from a YouTube listener. We're getting a lot of questions lately from YouTube, Aubrey. I love that.
Yes, and this one was written in Chinese characters, so I put it in
Yes.
Google Translate, and Google Translate said the characters are would be shuya,
Okay.
and then it was R4Z after. So I hope you're out there listening. I
Nice.
hope that's correct. I was like, oh, I wonder what Google Translate would give me for these
I love
characters.
that. I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, we should try to do that more often so we make sure that we try to say the names of our listeners. I love it. So
yeah.
good. All right. So Aubrey, do you want to read the question?
Sure. So, oh, and then Sophia is the name. That's similar to
The English
Shuya. So
name.
I wonder if it's
Mhm.
Shuya in Chinese,
Makes
Sophia
sense
Chinese
to
name.
me.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have to
love that.
see. Maybe our this listener will write to us and let us know if
I
we
know.
got it
I
right.
want to know. Let us know for sure. How correct is Google Translate? I would like
Yeah.
to know. So it said, "Hi, Lindsay and Aubrey. I'm Sophia, and All Ears English is my favorite podcast. I love that. Thank you for
Love
writing
that.
in.
Love it.
I have a quick question about the difference between what about you and how about you. I understand both are used to ask about someone's opinion or situation, but is there a subtle difference in when to use each? Thanks so much for your help." Thank you for
Mm.
writing in, Sophia. This is a great question.
Yeah, it's a question that's really, again, based in connection. So I am
Yes.
really excited to answer this so our listeners can start using it right away. All right.
So
So,
I did a little bit of a deep
yeah.
dive because when
Okay.
I hear them, I feel like there's no difference. They're very interchangeable.
Okay.
I would think they mean the same. But in some forums, there were native speakers saying, "Oh, I feel like this would imply," and these really complicated things like, "I think this would imply that
Oh.
you know what I'm going to do," and it seems so confusing. Ignore all of that, you guys. It's not true for everyone. All of everything that was written, I'm like, no, I don't really agree. I
Yeah.
really feel like you can use them interchangeably without worrying about any kind of subtle nuance. What do you think,
Yeah,
Lindsay?
I agree with you, Aubrey. I mean, on this show, we definitely go into nuances, right? We go into deep, deep,
Absolutely.
but only when it could help you, not when it's going to just confuse you as a listener, right?
Yeah.
So
And
we
that's
believe for these two, the difference doesn't matter. I 100% agree with
Absolutely.
you. Mhm.
Absolutely. I agree. And if there is someone that's like, "Oh, I feel like there is this tiny," it might just be for like their region or how they grew up. It's not going to be
Right.
the case for everyone.
Yeah.
For me and the way I grew up using them and how I hear them used like in podcast TVs or conversations, they're interchangeable.
Exactly. And our whole philosophy of connection, not perfection, is that we make sure we don't get hung up on mistakes or tiny details of the language where and connection suffers, right? Connection is at the
Exactly.
forefront for us. That is the most important thing. So we don't want you to be confused between the differences here. So for this particular episode, these two are interchangeable. Okay.
Absolutely. So we'll give you a little examples with both of them. We're going to do a mini role play for each because that's how it's used the most often. Someone asks you a question, you answer, and then you use one of these to ask them the same question back.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All
All
right,
right.
I'll
So,
start us with
yeah.
the first role play. Ready? Hey,
Yes.
Lindsay, what did you do this weekend?
Oh my gosh, this weekend I took a drive up to a town called Netherland and went to a tiny little community brewery where there was a bake sale, there was a rock sale. It was one of those places, Aubrey, where you just see the whole community in one place. What about you? What did you do?
Oh, I didn't do anything as fun as that. I'm really jealous. I took kids to lacrosse games and basically driving my kids around. So let's trade. I would rather
Okay.
do that next weekend.
Next weekend we'll trade lives. All right.
There you go. Perfect.
All right, good stuff.
And then I
Yeah.
wanna point out you can also, especially if someone answers the question and it's longer, sometimes it will be more natural to say, "What about you?" and then sort of repeat the question, right? So you could
Yes.
say like, "What about you? What did you do this weekend?" I will often do this. And even if it's not long, the way we started the episode, right? When
Yep.
you asked what I have going on today and
Mhm,
I
mhm.
shared, I might do the same thing. "What about you? What are you doing today?"
Exactly. And I think intonation becomes important when we do repeat the question, right? So when I flip it back to you, I would say, what about you? What did you do this weekend? Right? What did you do this weekend?
Yes, we
Mhm.
hit the "you" hardest, right? To share
Yeah.
like, "I'm asking the same question, but I wanna know about you."
Exactly. Exactly. Love it. And then we're always conscious there of trying not to, dominate the conversation again. There, you want to avoid being that me monster. Keep it short, keep it sweet, and throw it back to the other person and get a sense of how interesting or interested they are in what you've said. And maybe they'll ask you a follow up question. It's a real
Absolutely.
back and forth. It's a game of badminton, right?
Yeah. This
Love
is
it.
the skill to keep the conversation going. How do we do that?
Hmm.
We don't want it to just, fade out or someone
Yes.
just kind of walk away, right? We wanna keep
No.
it going, keep it
Yeah,
interesting.
and we don't and to do that, we avoid monologues, right? We avoid
Exactly.
monologues. Yes, okay.
Yes.
What's
So same
next?
thing with "How about you?" Let's do a mini role play here. You wanna start us, Lindsay?
Hey, did you make any New Year's resolutions?
Yes, I have resolved to not drink alcohol with food. I
Oh,
read that it's not good
interesting.
because then your body is burning the alcohol instead of the food and you're going to burn less calories, so I'm working on that. How
Ah,
about you?
I like that. Oh, I'm still thinking about my New Year's resolution. Can I decide by February?
Yes, right? Give me some
Okay,
time, give me some
give me
time.
some time. I love that.
And
That's
I
an
could
interesting.
again, I could have said, "How about you? Did you make any resolutions?" Right? That's very
Mhm.
natural to repeat the question after saying either, "What about you?" or "How about you?"
Yes, I love it. So, two really good ways to throw it back to the other person. What about you and how about you? Is there a third, Aubrey, that we could use?
Yeah, we're going to share a third here, which is what do you think? This is a little different. What about you and how about you are so general and versatile for anything
Mhm.
the other person said. Just like how would you answer this question? Is what that means
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
What do you think is more specific to use after you share an opinion and you want to know their opinion? You could be like, "What do you
Mhm.
think?"
I love it. So this could be even more useful potentially talking about like just topical items in the news,
Mhm.
societal events, current events, that kind of thing. So let's see what our role play looks like here. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So what do you think about the changes the city made to its recycling program?
Oh, I get why they did it. I guess it was really cost prohibitive. It's too bad though. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's true. I think a lot of cities are shutting down recycling. Isn't that true? Have you seen that, Aubrey?
It's happened in Phoenix. They won't recycle glass anymore. I think the
Yeah.
problem was people weren't cleaning it well enough and it was just
Ah,
costing them too much and sorting. And so they've just said, we can't afford to do this,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Anything we need to know about this role play here?
Well, you can add one of the above, right? How about you? Or what about you before you say,
Mhm.
what do you think? So I could have said, I get why they did it. It's too bad though. What about you? What do you
Mm.
think? So we sort of
Yeah,
double these up really often.
sure, absolutely. So you have a little flexibility here, and you can use them in conjunction with each other as well, right?
Totally. Yep.
Okay. Oh, there is actually a fourth, and I love this one. Very
Yes.
shorthand, right? Very
Very
shorthand.
short, but
Yeah.
actually more formal. As I thought of examples
Mm.
and tried to put in the role play, I realized I use this less. So it's just and you, two words. You
Mhm.
would think that's more informal, more casual because it's shorter, but it's actually
Right.
sort of a more formal construction to after
Okay.
someone answers, after you answer something to say and you feels
Okay.
quite formal.
Yeah. Let's see what this looks like then. Here we go. So, what are you doing for the holiday?
Oh, I'm flying out east to visit family. And you?
Yeah. Okay. I love that.
So you can see
Yes.
how if I said, "What about you? How about you?" That's a little more casual, a little more friendly, and
Mhm.
you feels like maybe we don't know each other as well, maybe we're coworkers, maybe you're
It
my boss, right?
Yeah,
And
it
you, it's a
does
little more formal.
it feels a little yeah, it does. It feels a little like there's a little bit more distance there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
For some reason. Or sometimes what I just say is "you," right? I'm flying out east to visit family. "You?"
Yeah.
Right? Do
Yeah.
you ever say that? Or is it
Yes,
just me?
I do. I say that, I hear it, absolutely. I'm trying to think if that is more formal or not. I feel like "How about you?"
It
and "What about you?" are the most casual, even
Yeah.
though they're more words, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the "you"
You?
stands on the spectrum of casual and formal, actually. It feels a little more casual to me, but it could be used also with someone you don't know, like a barista at the coffee shop.
Totally.
So,
I
we'll have
think
to
that
come
one's
back to
really
that.
flexible. That could
Yeah,
work anywhere, probably just you.
yeah, for sure. All right, so in this role play, Aubrey, we are coworkers who see each other at the dog park. All right, so you're a dog owner. Nice.
Yes. So it's fictional because I don't really have a dog.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. "Hey there, I didn't realize you lived close to here."
I don't really, but it's the best dog park in town. So much shade. What about you? Do you live close to here?
"Yeah, just around the corner."
Oh, it's such a beautiful neighborhood. Have you gotten to know your neighbors?
Oh, yeah. A lot of really great people live close by. I love chatting with everyone who's out walking their dogs. How about you? Good neighbors?
Yeah, for sure. We've lived there about 10 years, so we've met most of them. Hey, I've been meaning to ask what you think about that dress code change at work.
Oh, I hate it. I miss being able to wear jeans and a t shirt. What do you think?
Same. I'm dreading having to dress up.
Yeah, I love this. And this is such a realistic conversation because this is what we
Totally.
do as human beings. We need feedback from other people. We can't just go off and say our opinion. Most people want to have a sense, do people agree with me? How am I landing? Like, how are my thoughts
Totally.
landing?
Right, we
Right?
don't wanna have that situation where we come out really strong with an opinion, the other person's like, "Oh, I disagree, actually," and now we've created
No.
this awkward situation.
No, it's just how the human mind works, right? And
Totally.
so this is incredibly useful for our listeners. So first, you said, Aubrey, I don't live close to here, but it's the best dog park in town. So much shade, right? And here again, you dropped the pronoun and the verb. So instead of saying there is so much shade, you say so much shade.
So much shade,
What
yes.
about you? Hmm.
Yeah, and this is where I added the question again, right? I said, "What about you? Do you live close to here?" And I could
Hmm.
just say, "What about you?" But this
Right.
is very natural to repeat the question, often to
Yes.
make sure they know what question you're asking. Okay, because
Yes.
honestly, here I've said enough that they might think I'm asking, "Do you think this is the best dog park in town?" Right? If I
Yeah.
just say,
Oh,
"What
good
about
point.
you?" I kind of need to clarify.
Yep, you need to recenter the conversation, and
Yeah,
that's your responsibility as the one asking the question.
make it clear.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you said it's a have you gotten to know your neighbors? And I said, yeah, a lot of really great people live here. I love chatting with everyone. And then I said, how about you? And I again repeated the question because it could have been another question, right? Do you love
Exactly.
chatting
Do
with
you love
everyone?
chatting with
Right,
people who are with their dogs?
right.
Right. So then
So,
you said, "How about you? Good neighbors?" And this
yes,
will often shorten it too. You don't need to repeat, "Do you have good neighbors?" If you
yes,
say, "How about you? Good neighbors?" We know
yes.
what you mean.
Yeah, and that's incredibly native and natural the way we ask that. How about you? Good neighbors? Right? It also sounds kind of positive, kind of uplifting. It's a good exchange here, right?
Yeah, right? We're assuming.
Yeah,
Assuming they're good
you
neighbors
are.
just to
You're
be
hedging in
positive.
that direction. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay. Then what did I say, Aubrey?
Yeah, then you were saying, "Oh, I hate this new dress code policy. I miss being able to wear jeans and a t-shirt. What do you think?" And
Mhm.
this is, like you said, there's an opportunity here to be honest. If I'm
Yep.
like, actually, I'm excited about it. But I think when I ask the question, there's probably a little bit of an implication that I don't love it. Otherwise, why
Yeah.
would I ask about it, right?
Oh, for
It's
sure, for
interesting.
sure. So, and then you replied by saying, "Same, I'm dreading having to dress up." So we're kind of just commiserating a little bit here, empathizing with how we feel about this new dress code, this change at work,
Yeah,
right?
and it's interesting to think about how the conversation would change depending on your answer, right? I asked you about the
Mm.
dress code. If you're like, "I'm actually really excited to dress up," I probably would just be like, "Yeah, it'll be different," and change
Yeah.
the subject. If I'm not confrontational, I'm probably not gonna say, "Oh, well, I hate it."
Yeah, most people are gonna agree in some ways and find a way to agree, like, yeah, it'll be different, right? With that uplifting tone of
Totally.
voice, and then just pivot to something
Yep.
else. And we have
Pivot to
done
something
other
else.
episodes on All Ears English about how to pivot the conversation, right? We did one about how to pivot away from politics, and this could be another thing to pivot away from, which Aubrey, maybe we should visit in a new episode someday.
Yeah, that would be
Uh,
great because this is
yeah,
such an important skill. You don't want to increase or emphasize the awkwardness if you disagree.
right.
Pivot away, find something else
Mhm.
that you do have in common.
I love it. Now, there's another episode we want to recommend that you guys go to right away as soon as you finish. This is 1061. Continue the English conversation with today's phrases. You'll want to go over to the app to type that in and find that one because that's pretty far back, Aubrey, right?
Yes, just type in the number 1061 in the app to find it. We have had a lot of students ask us, like, how do I continue the conversation? We have a little bit
Hmm.
of a back and forth, and then there's this moment where, like, what more can I say? So check
Yes.
out that episode. We gave you a lot of great phrases, depending for a lot of different situations of how you can keep the conversation going.
Yes, I love that. What's our takeaway for today?
Again, don't be a me monster, right? Today's
Yes.
phrases are all vital to throw it back to the other person. You want to know their answer as well to the question that they asked you.
Oh, for sure. And I want to see our listeners who are students in our courses. If you're in our courses nowadays, you get invited to our open conversation club. I want to see our students using these phrases from today's episode live in conversation with each other and in conversation with us, Aubrey. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's my favorite. We go to Open
Yeah.
Conversation Club and I hear them use the vocabulary, the idioms, the phrases,
Yeah.
strategies from the podcast. The best place to practice it.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So we're excited to meet you. And, this month, we'll have a lot of new students coming into our courses. So we're looking forward to meeting you in Open Conversation Club. All right. Good
Yes.
stuff.
Awesome.
All
I will
right,
see you
Aubrey.
there, Lindsay.
Yes. Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon, Aubrey. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.